Hello everyone and welcome back to Affinity for Commander. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be taking a look at the singular best legend to come out of the Lord of the Rings set, and it's not even close. Just before we get started though, if you would like to purchase any of the cards I'm going to be talking about here, or even the full deck list, then be sure to do so through our lovely affiliate link for the fabulous cardmarket.com. Or if you're one of our beautiful viewers from over the pond, then be sure to use our TCG player or Flipside Gaming affiliate link in the description box below. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but really helps the channel out quite a lot. Now, on to the one true king. Aragorn the Uniter is a 5/5 legendary human noble for 1 white, 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 red mana. He reads, whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent. And finally, whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until the end of turn. So that is a lot of text, and basically cards get different effects based upon the colours used to cast them. And that is their colour in the top right corner, the mana pips, not whatever is said on the card. So for example, Dovin's Veto will trigger both of Aragorn's white and blue effects, creating a 1/1 and letting you scry 2. Whereas casting something like Archangel Avacyn will only trigger the white part of Aragorn's ability, creating you a 1/1, not the red part, despite the fact that Avacyn's colour identity is red and white. She only has white pips in the top right corner, so those are the only effects you get from Aragorn. So for Aragorn the Exceedingly Broken, we've got a multicoloured matters theme to get the most value out of his ability, a heavy creature based deck, and a few different combos to help end the game for us using and abusing Aragorn's plethora of abilities. Starting off with the 1-drop slot, we've got a 4 CMC commander of a variety of colours, so we need mana dorks. Birds of Paradise, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves, and Noble Hierarch all accelerate us to get Aragorn out sooner. And as an added bonus, if we draw them later in the game, they can still be used to trigger our commander's last ability to give something +4/+4. We're also running the new Delighted Halfling, and this sure-to-be-soon commander staple is essentially going to be used to make our commander uncounterable. And considering the amount of legends we're running, they're all just great fixing. To make use of these mana dorks once we're in the mid to late game, Skull Clamp is going to be useful to help draw cards from them. An offer you can't refuse is here to keep our king safe, and finally, Rancor. Honestly, I just love the idea of playing this onto Aragorn to give him much needed trample, triggering his last ability to give himself the buff, and then swing with our now 11/9 commander with trample. Moving up to the 2-drop slot, we're running more mana accelerators with Arcane Signet, Felwar Stone, Curious Follower, and Bloom Tender. With our commander out, the Tender would be tapping for 4 mana, which is both obscene and will also be able to enable one of our combos later on. Song of Freyalise allows all the tokens we're making to tap for mana and then double their power and get to have one big alpha swing later on. Trace of Abundance also ramps us, but this should also be played with Aragorn out. 2 mana to get a 1/1, bolt your opponents, and give a creature +4/+4? Yeah, that seems like 2 mana well spent. By now it's pretty obvious we need Aragorn out, so protecting him should be top priority. Borrow's Charm to grant Indestructible, or Double Strike if we're going in for the kill. Dovin's Veto to straight up counter something away. Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard for more Indestructible. And lastly, Pippin, Guard the Citadel, is a kind of buffed up mum. Gaining protection from all creatures helps with getting hits in, and stopping all instances for a turn is super helpful to prevent Aragorn from leaving the party early. And the last card I want to mention here is Selesnya Charm, a means of making Aragorn an 11/11 with trample and make a 1/1. Or just exile a big thing. I can't see ever using that last ability, but heck, maybe we just really need the blockers. Up to the 3 drops now, we've got more ramp in Chromatic Lantern, and also fixing our mana. Feyburrow Elder is hopefully a 4/4 for 3 that taps for 4. Relic of Legends can be useful, as we do have a lot of legendary creatures, essentially giving them all the tap ability to generate mana. And finally, speaking of legendary creatures, Selvala, Heart of the Wilds, who we might trigger initially with our commander, but probably not after that if people are playing big creatures. But provided we cast a green spell this turn, you can be tapping for a load of mana, thanks in part to Aragorn's trigger. With all this mana, let's abuse Aragorn's abilities by playing a lot of multicoloured spells. Fires of Yavimaya and Rhythm of the Wild gives all our stuff haste or a counter, which is very important if we're granting +4/+4s to the squad. General Ferrous Rockrick makes us a 4/4 golem by just playing our deck. Knight of Autumn is the Rex Sage of choice for this deck, not just because they are so versatile, but it also comes with a 1/1 as well, and that lovely +4/+4. Oko Thief of Crowns can be used to turn people's key pieces or even commanders into elks, because remember, we're bad people for playing this. Shield of the Oversoul is a great bit of protection for our commander, and giving him flying just makes it that much easier to go for commander damage kills. Sphinx's Revelation is a nice instant speed draw effect with life gain, which also generates us a 1/1 and scrying too before we draw those cards. A weird card I quite like is Falaji Wayfarer. On the battlefield, it essentially allows us to use all our creatures to help cast more spells. Being able to tap all those 1/1 soldiers we've been making to cast a huge Sphinx's Revelation sounds pretty good to me. The last card I want to mention here at the 3 CMC slot is a great equipment in Sunforger. Now no, it doesn't trigger Aragorn's abilities, but it does let us go find out our Boros Charm, Dovin's Vetoes, or even an Elredamri's Call should we decide to be a bit spicy. It does very much pay for everything in this deck to be multicolored. On the 4-drop slot, we've actually only got a few of them. Decimate is one of my personal favourite ways of destroying a lot of problems all at once. Supreme Verdict to reset the board if things get a bit too out of hand. And finally a new legend in Eowyn, Fearless Knight. A removal spell for our opponent's biggest threat, and should they be playing a mono-coloured deck, then completely unblockable for our entire board. At the top spots we've got even more multicoloured legends, including Chulane, Teller of Tales, draws more cards, ramp us more, and be able to save our commander by bouncing him if we need to. Samut, Voice of Dissent, is a great way of giving our things haste, but can act as a very good surprise blocker or buffer during combat damage. Surak Dragonclaw can offer some good triggers from Aragorn's abilities, but more importantly ensures that all our creatures are no longer able to be countered. We're also running 2 God cards in Karametra, God of the Harvest, to grab every single Plains and Forest card out of our deck, which does mean we can fetch dual-type lands with her ability. And Xenagos, God of Rebels, is a good means of buffing our creatures, especially when they've already received a +4/+4 boost that turn. The last 4 spells I want to talk about here are a Tutor in Bring to Light, which you'll be able to grab any spell that I've talked about in the 4 CMC or below section, since we'll be casting it with 4 colours. And lastly, 3 green draw spells. Shamanic Revelations, as we'll be having a load of 1/1 tokens thanks to Aragorn. Camaraderie works on a similar premise. And finally, Rishkar's Expertise has a great bit of synergy with our commander, as by casting the spell we give Aragorn himself the +4/+4 boost. So now the Expertise allows us to draw 9 cards for 6 mana, and then play any card I've talked about previously completely for free. Now I have left a few cards out of the deck thus far, so I can talk about them now, because they're all part of the numerous combos that can go into Aragorn's deck. And a lot of them are just really good value all by themselves, but obviously put together, they just straight win you the game. For example, the Food Chain combo with Squee the Immortal is a great means of both generating infinite mana, but mainly so that we get to have infinite casts of Squee, and thus casting a red spell bolts our opponents. And since we're doing it over and over and over again, that's infinite damage right there, thanks to this one little goblin. We're also running Shrieking Drake and White Mane Lion, along with Retreat to Coral Helm. As now with either of our creatures that are able to tap for more than 2 mana, we can use this to be able to cast them over and over again, generating us more and more mana. Again, infinite mana, but primarily the infinite Aragorn triggers. The Shrieking Drake means we literally just get to stack our library how we want it, and the White Mane Lion creates as many 1/1 as we like. And should we be doing this with Tulane out, well then we're just drawing our libraries completely, aren't we? This also works with Dockside Extortionist and the Team of Sabretooth combo, with the cat bouncing the goblin to our hand and then using the treasures he has generated to replay him. This does mean we need the Dockside to come in to make at least 4 treasures to pay the 2 mana for the ability of the cat, and then the 2 mana more to replay them. But provided this does happen, then we just get repeated castings of this little extortionist, thus making Aragorn trigger infinite number of times to bury our opponents in so much damage that even the Balrog cannot see them. Overall, Aragorn the Uniter is a fantastically powerful commander with a surplus of colours and abilities that allow you to go into any amount of degenerate combos that you want, to make infinite tokens, or to make infinite damage, entirely up to you. And even just playing the deck normally for a multicolored matters theme, he just makes every single spell have that bit much more value. Being able to cast Dovin's Veto, already a good card, but being able to cast it, scry 2 and get a 1/1 for it, and it's still only 2 mana, that's some insane value. And as I've said before, the +4/+4 ability means all your little mana dorks at the beginning of the game still have impact and value later on. Which honestly I can't wait to one-shot someone out the game by playing a ton of elves on turn 10 with Aragorn on board, just to win the game that way. Which, considering how many times Aragorn is saved by a pack of elves, that's oddly thematic. And that'll be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. What legends are you excited about from the upcoming Lord of the Rings set? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one of them. As always, this video and all Affinity for Commander content is made possible thanks to the support of our amazing patrons. You guys are truly awesome. If you too would like to become a patron of the channel and have access to exclusive EDH related rewards, then be sure to check out our link in the video description. You can also support the channel a few other quick and easy ways, liking this video, subscribing, commenting and sharing it on your preferred social media platform. But that'll be it from me for now, guys. As always, I've been Alex, and I'll see you next time.